Everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast. And I think we're gonna just jump right into this episode. It's been a minute since I kind of touched base, but it's all for the better of the podcast, better of even myself. When I get on the microphone, I want to be able to be as authentic as possible and bring in the audience just pretty much the best overview overall from the standpoint of the world of youth sports, athletics, the basketball world in general, and just life. And in order for me to do that, hey, I got to experience life. So, but I'm happy. I'm grateful to be back here with another episode. And man, since the last time that we jumped on here, man, again, great feedback pretty much all over the world, from people kind of touching base, chiming in on the show, on the podcast, on some of the topics. I'm just grateful, man, all the way around for my voice to be kind of heard, not just in the space of youth athletics, high school athletics, but just all around. So I'm really appreciative of that. What's going on lately? If you guys are hearing this, man, we're on the brink of another high school basketball season. And I can't wait. I've been working with my guys since pretty much like the springtime. We've had a good group kind of doing, man, everything that we put forth as far as a program that you want kids committed. You want kids heavily involved, doing things to get better, to grow as players, as young men. And I think this group has pretty much all of that we laid out. And I'm real excited to get things going with these guys. So yeah, so if you're hearing this, we're on the brink of another high school season. And I kind of want to touch on what we're gonna be seeing throughout the year when it pertains to high school sports within the state of Missouri. I think I want to kind of touch base on a couple of the top area teams, top area players, and get a listener kind of an overview of what to expect. I know some of you guys are just itching and biting at the opportunity to get out and see some games, and me too. So I think that's one of the great things about this space. As far as being able to get on the microphone, hey, I can give you my play-by-play. I can kind of give you the things or the insight from a coach's perspective at any moment. So we're going to just jump right into that on this episode, and then just kind of go throughout a journey as far as the things that I'm seeing, the things that I want to kind of convey to the players, to parents, as far as solutions to kind of help our game grow. So let's see if we can kind of get things going here with the show. As you all know, when I record this and as far as putting my own little stamp on it, I like to give you guys an opportunity, pretty much, and it's a gift for the listener. And that gift is making sure that we stay tight and locked in to using the promo code Coach Turner for your $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek. We are hot on the soccer season right now in St. Louis. We got great soccer events, sporting events, the Blues, just any event that especially if you want to hit the road and maybe go check out some games and check out some shows, use the promo code Coach Turner at Team or at SeatGeek. Again, that's my thanks to you guys for chiming in and checking out the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm big on, I don't ask guys for much. I'm not the person that's coming up here, sitting up here asking you guys to donate, hit the CashApp, hit the PayPal, and do all these different things. All I ask for you guys to do is just kind of like, comment on the video. Those things kind of keep me encouraged and kind of keep me going. So when I see those different things like that, it lets me know that, hey, I'm doing the right thing. So like, subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, if you're listening to this on Apple Music, Tidal, any Google podcast, anything that has podcast in it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and kind of be up to date on all of the different shows that I might drop and I might come out with. Also, I have a Amazon team. We also team Amazon over here. Team Amazon uh, storefront. So if you guys, the link for the Amazon storefront will be in the descriptions. And it's pretty much just products that I use on a day-to-day basis, whether if it's from a coaching aid perspective, teaching perspective, or just personal things, maybe like colognes and lotions and different things like that. Hey, it's all in the Amazon store. If you guys go check that out, you also can kind of help me out with the promotion and kind of getting things out there. So again, Team SeatGeek, Team Amazon, like and subscribe to the channel. All right. Let's see. What else are we talking about? What's going on? Oh man, the NBA season kind of kicked off. And if you guys haven't had a chance to kind of check out the Spurs, Golden State, shout out to our homegrown player Yuri Collins, who was able to get inside the Golden State organization with picking up an opportunity to play with those guys for the year. You got Jordan Goodwin, you have EJ Liddell, you have again the superstars and Brad Beal and Jason Tatum, kind of making sure that their faces are front and center of the NBA. Watching Brad, watching Jordan, watching those guys play growing up. Now they're on an actual championship contender team. And again, we already know Jason, he's trying his best to get that first championship. So shout out to those guys. But the NBA season is, it's starting to heat up, man. It seems like some new faces in new places. You got Dame Lillard, you got Story. So many different headlines. From the James Harden to, obviously LeBron is a constant mainstay when it comes to, always in the headlines. You have, just so many different undercurrents of topics and stories that, it's endless. There's so many different characters in the NBA that you can never go wrong with that product of watching a game, seeing what's going on, and just building from there as far as a appetite of basketball. You have some people that's not really good, NBA fans, and they wait on the college game. The college game is going to be very, very special this year. I can't wait to watch some of the kids that we've watched over the last couple years grow and get a chance for opportunity to see them playing on the big stage. Shout out to all of the college coaches. We've had a number of college coaches coming through the school this year, or even just this fall, kind of checking on our kids, checking on some of our players. And that's always good, and it's a good look for our kids to see coaches actually come back, because we can always use that as a motivation factor to say to kids like, hey, you come here, you come to participate in high school sports. Now you have people that have the power to give you a scholarship or invite you to certain things, because I'm only coaching high school. I can bring the folks there, get you in front of those guys, but at the end of the day, you have to perform. So that's something that we always use as motivation to get guys motivated to continue to play and to continue to shoot for their dreams. And that's all that you can ask for. But again, we've had numerous college coaches come. Good luck to all of the coaches that came by, for them to have a excellent and great college season to start off, and continue to come by, continue to check out our kids, to make sure that they're doing the right thing on all fronts. Okay, let's see. What else are we talking about? What else is going on? Again, right now I think the James Harden situation is kind of like the most baffling thing that that I can think of when it just comes to how can I say it, dysfunction as a player. And just give me a second. Just let me get on my soapbox real quick and kind of just tell you some things that I'm looking at this situation and I don't like, because when you get an opportunity to again play at that level, it's so many guys that have to sacrifice so many different things to get to that level. And not only are you sacrificing for you're sacrificing to get at the highest stage, at the highest level. When you get there, it's certain things and certain behaviors that I've been taught that, I mean, you have to respect the game. You have to be loyal to the game, because at the end of the day, in so many forms of fashion, that the game is gonna reward you in the end. When I see some of the antics that someone like a James Harden, some of the things that he's done throughout his career that has embodied, well, I'm not gonna say embodied, but it has put him in a situation where he can do certain things in these organizations that, I mean, it kind of puts a black eye in the game. You know, I'm gonna share my screen real quick for those who are watching on YouTube. Just kind of check this out when it comes to and again, we want everybody to have fun when you're out there on the court, but it's just certain things that you know that's deemed to be distractions. And for those who don't know, just to kind of give you kind of feedback, James Harden, I believe, basically told Philadelphia that he wasn't coming to training camp, that he wasn't going to participate at the beginning of the year. And again, right then and there, that's a red flag. You know, yes, you are a veteran. Yes, you are probably one of the highest paid superstars in the NBA. But at the same time, as a teammate, I want you in the trenches with me when it's time to go to work. You know, you have all of these different time frames, and I think even back in the day, Shaq used to always say he's gonna wait until training camp to get in shape. You know, he wasn't gonna train or do certain things over the summertime to get his body ready for training camp, because he was gonna use training camp to get in shape. When you look at someone at the stage of their career like a James Harden, and again, I don't know all of the details. I'm simply observing from a fan's perspective and a high school coach's perspective. Your job is to make sure that you're in shape. Your body is your moneymaker. I mean, we tell these kids all of the time, making sure that you eat right, take care of your body, get rest, because I mean, if you want to perform, you want to perform at the highest level. I mean, you need energy. You need your body to be in tip-top shape. James Harden has always been on record of as coming into the season not in the best of shape, pretty much out of shape. And when they need him down the stretch, I mean, at the end of the day, he hasn't won any championships. We need for you to get in shape. We need you to be locked in and focused on the season. Again, from a fan's perspective, you are one of the best players in the league on one of the better teams in the league. Kids are watching, parents are watching, people pay their hard-earned money to go watch you play, and they want to see you out there. So for you to be in a position where you tell an organization that you're not going to play, then on the flip side, show up, not show up during training camp, but then expect to start the beginning of the season with the team. I think he showed up to like an event for the plane to leave, and they told him that he wasn't welcome to ride the plane, and he's not going to be a part of the team. I guess up until they had some type of meeting. But again, the way the NBA works, it's a trickle down effect. So if kids see players behaving like this at that level, it's going to transition all the way down to where you're going to see college players doing certain things. You're going to see high school players doing certain things, and it's going to empower these kids to feel like that, hey, since I'm the star player, I don't have to do X, Y, Z. And again, it gives a black eye it puts a black eye in the game when you see stuff like this that goes on. So again, that's just one of my pet peeves, like just watching, observing at the beginning of the year. You already have situations like a Ja Morant, certain things that, their antics overshadow the stuff that we should be, uh, tipping our hat to, like watching, when Beyonce play, watching, LeBron in his 21st year, watching players like a Jason, watching players like a Durant that just strictly come out and play basketball, like a Steph Curry. Um, those are the things, we should be celebrating, we should be watching as a fan to keep the game moving in a positive light moving forward. So those are some of the things that I just been kind of peeping at the beginning of the season that I'm like, okay, this is not a good look. I wish some players that I had would tell me that they're not coming to workouts or training for whatever reason, and then expecting certain things to happen when you didn't put the work in with these guys. So again, I'm old school. That's how I was raised, as far as respecting the game, and I just want these guys to kind of do the same thing. So uh, yeah, so that was some of my hot takes. Let's talk about, let's see what's going on as far as real world problems for parents and players. Again, we're on the brink of another season. Real world problems, I feel like players are going to come into this season with, as far as real world problems. I think anxiety is a huge thing as far as with players. Um, Anxiety, and then also dealing with emotion. Parents, you have to help coaches out, you have to help teachers out, and you also have to help your child out in dealing with anxiety and emotion in ways that you and I can't imagine what a teenager is going through. When we came up, yes, we had all these other different issues and different things that we had to go through, but at the same time, I mean, no student or no kid, a teenager right now, is going through the amount of pressure that these kids are under right now as we speak today. Coming out of a situation like COVID, having a quarantine, now we're seeing the results of these kids now, where I think this is their senior year. The seniors now will be the seniors that graduated from COVID. They had to experience things as far as a shutdown. So again, anxiety and a pressure. I mean, these kids they deal with so much. As coaches, as parents, we have to do a better job in helping the kids manage these things and getting them the help that they need, the resources that they need, and talking to the people that they need to kind of get through and overcome some of these issues. Because we motivate them to play sports and to play basketball, but there's so many different issues and real world problems that these guys are dealing with that the parents need to kind of help out in a sense and not add too much pressure on the kids. And so it just brings me to a point, and just how are we going to behave this year as far as fans, as far as parents in the stands, and just making sure that we protect the innocence of our children and not put too much pressure on them. I think, let's see if I can pull this up. It's funny, but it's not funny. And for the people who are watching on YouTube, I want to show you guys. Let's see if I can pull this up. Because I think I pulled this off of Facebook or Instagram or one of them, but it was basically just talking about what people are going to dress up like for Halloween. And when I saw this, it automatically it put me in the space of like, man, like this is really where we are. See if I can find this real quick. But basically, it was the picture of hold on. look at this one. All right. It was so again, like I said, when I saw this, the first thing I thought was, it's like, man, we're here, and it's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. And at the same time, let me see if I can share this. Go. All right, it's funny, but it's not funny. And if you guys can see this, you have AAU coach. Some people are gonna dress up for Halloween as an AAU coach. And what it entails and what it includes as an AAU coach, you have you have a reclass. 2, you have a technical foul. And another 2, you have I guess these are the things that are included in the package. 1 reclass, 2 technical fouls, 2 stolen basketballs, a coaching shirt, jeans, and a hat. Now, some people may think like, what is this? But if you guys know, and if you've been around youth sports, you've been to these tournaments, you see these things going on. Like, this is a huge problem. This is a huge problem. Even when I take my son to games, and you hear parents, pretty much just overdo it. It's one thing about rooting for your child and being a cheerleader, and you can cheer the kid on. But it's another thing about just, come on. And then you get coaches that's not really teaching the game. So many coaches, and this is one of the reasons, and me and my buddies, we go back and forth over this. Because for one, I hooped growing up. I played ball growing up. So I got it out the mud. I've been in pretty much every situation you can think of when it comes to being a player. I've sat the bench. I've been the star. I've played almost, the majority of the game. I've been a role player on teams. I've played JV. I've played varsity. I've played like all of these different things. And so it comes from me a little different when I go back and I teach the game. Some of our greatest players couldn't be some of the best coaches. You see someone like a Michael Jordan or someone like a Kobe Bryant who, had so much will and was so driven to be the greatest that it's hard for them to articulate how to get somebody else cold, how to get somebody else great. And what I see nowadays, the game at the youth level, we need some folks to come by and help save it. And that's one of the reasons why, I've partnered with some of the guys I've partnered with, and I try to reach back and bring new blood into the game with kids that I know have been coached the right way. Because if you've been coached the right way, in all honesty, you're going to probably teach the game the right way. But if at some point, in some fashion, you've cheated the game, you're going to continue to try to cheat the game when it comes to being around the youth and around young kids. And so much I see when I see these guys, when they get these teams, and it's not so much of just stacking teams, because again, good kids want to play with other good kids. That's just how it's always been. You can blame it on LeBron and all of this. This has been going back since the 80s when Worthy and Magic and all these guys used to play on some of the greatest teams. But good kids want to play with other good players. So I'm not knocking that. What I'm knocking is, when you get these kids, what are you teaching them? Are you teaching them life skills? Or are you teaching them the fundamentals? Or are you teaching them how to prepare to be great? Or you teaching them work ethic? Or you just, are you pandering to these kids? And so the game is in bad shape from just the youth standpoint across the board when I see these tournaments. And it just, like I said, it made me laugh and chuckle at this right here where it says for Halloween as a youth coach, and this is just so embarrassing. And I had a couple of little jokes for some of my referee friends, and I said, "Man, let me find out that you guys are getting stole on by these AAU coaches because at the end of the day, it's where we are with the game." You know, a movie like a King Richard, or you see some of these movies where you have the irate parents that probably never really made it to a certain level, and they try to push their kids harder and harder and harder, and they think that their kids are being misused or mistreated in some form of fashion, and the result is something like this where you're coaching and you getting into it with a referee all because of a call or a non-call, to the point where a referee is not gonna oh yeah, you know what, I did make a bad call, that wasn't a trap, let me get the ball back. I mean, it's bad referees just like it's bad coaches, just like it's bad play, bad basketball play, but it never should get to this extent where um you're choking somebody out, or you're fighting with a referee at a youth game. But again, this is it was so funny because again, this is where we at with the game, and this is something that I don't want to see this year when it comes to coaching basketball and being in these situations where I'm an AD and I have to regulate and put parents out and break up fights and break up these type of situations, to where that's one thing I can say about the job that I'm not really a fan of. So let's try to do better this upcoming basketball season, and kind of again help these kids out with the anxiety that you don't think this is going to give the kids some form of stress, knowing that my coach and my parent just whooped up on a referee, or did something to a referee, or something like that. It's like I said, there's so many different things that we deal with, from youth coaches fighting other youth coaches or shooting other youth coaches, coaches getting shot, players getting shot, parents getting shot. Like, again, we're at a crazy time that parents, you can do a better job as far as helping us out, when it comes to this. All right. So again, we talked about the solutions. Again, the solutions could just be, not just everybody has high expectations, but again, trying to teach the kids that how do the game transition to real life, how do a particular game, a particular win, a particular loss, how does that transition into the real world. You're gonna have some bad days, you're gonna have some good days, but at the end of the day, and it's gonna be some things that are out of your control. I can't control how, if it's going to be sunny tomorrow and 70 degrees. I can't control, my skin color, who my ancestors are. Uh, Excuse me. I can't control these different things. What I can control is my response to things. And I think, if we can continue to reiterate that with our kids and our players, then they will be in good shape when they realizing that, it's going to be some times where I can't do certain things. And when I can't do certain things, or things are not going my way, is the way to resolve that is to automatically get physical with somebody. Is to automatically cuss somebody out and tell them how you're going to do something to somebody. So those are small solutions that we can kind of work with and use to help improve, the game. So now, I kind of dove in and kind of went on a little ramble about some things that I'm not proud of when I see those things. But let's kind of jump into another topic of who are some of the teams to look out for this year. Now, I think throughout this the rest of this show, I'm gonna just kind of chime in on, for right now, just the class 5, because I think St. Mary's, we are in class 5, and man, we struggled the last couple of years. We just not struggled to the point where it's tough only having 200 some odd kids in the school and will continue to ride this championship factor wave. So uh, again, I mean, for whatever reason, they found or felt that this was a solution to kind of solve the public versus private argument that we always hear. But at the end of the day, I mean, I want a chance to kind of get out and hate that my district is always the district that's like the toughest to get out. And playing the caliber of teams we play, really, I mean, those should be state championship level games that we battle it out. And then all of a sudden, it's only one or two, or you look up and the rest of the playoffs are blowouts. So again, I'm just going to kind of focus on some of the teams to kind of look out for. And this is coming from Prep Hoops. Shout out to Mr. Austin, Earl Austin, with his write-ups and doing some of these things, because again, if it wasn't for that man, hey, the keeping the information and the history of the game intact. I mean, we would be all over the place if it wasn't for this man. So shout out to Mr. Austin when it comes to keeping the game intact. So right off the bat, I mean, it's a no-brainer in Class 5. Gardner Ritter is one of the top teams in the state, if not the best team in the state. I think they were able to advance to the championship game, and I think they returned pretty much the entire team. For the last couple of years, they have been the front-running team in our conference. St. Mary's, we are no longer in the AAA conference, so we're independent. So we're an independent team able to play individual schools, and so we're not tied down to a conference. So we will not play Gardner Ritter this year based on the obligations of not playing some of the AAA conference teams for a year or two. But at the end of the day, I think, like I said, I think Gardner Ritter is probably one of the best teams in the state, regardless of class. And they return pretty much the entire team. You got Clayton Jackson, you got Derek Rivers, you got Nashawn Davis, Ryan Atkins, Q Parker. I mean, you got a host of guys that at any moment can be one of the top players on that team. So stacked from head to toe. Like I said, the last 4 seasons, I mean, they've advanced to pretty much all of the state championships. Finished third, finished back to back, won a couple. So they will be one of the top teams in the area. All right. Not a dark horse, but someone can say like a mainstay coming out of the Boot Hill. You got Sikeston. Sikeston is one of the top teams after advancing to the state quarterfinals last season. They returned top players Dontrez Willis, a 6'5" wing, and then they also get PJ Former, who he set an uproar down in the Boot Hill this year with transferring from Charleston High School to Sikeston. So he's going to be a nice addition. And then they also have a Tristan Wiggins and a Trace Sadler, that's 6'11" center. So I won't be surprised if you see Sikeston and Cape kind of battle it out again down there in the Boot Hill. And that leads us to Cape Central. The Tigers return a strong nucleus from last season, SEMO Conference champion. They're led by 6'3" guard Jay Reynolds, who committed to SEMO. And they also have a talented class of 2026 6'3" guard Marquel Murray, and a 6'7" forward Ty Andre Edwards. And I mean, that kid is pretty good. I mean, both of those kids are pretty much studs. And I think it's going to be a battle down there, man. It's still a toss-up between Cape Central and Sikeston as far as who's gonna battle it out and come out of that area as a team to be reckoned with. Some teams in the middle. We got Jeff City, who made a postseason run, finished third last year. They return 6'4" guard Jordan Martin. And then they also have a Rowan Buffington. That's gonna be a pretty nice player for them. So yeah, so you have Jeff City. That's gonna be kind of a team in the middle of the state that can run up against another team, hopefully out of St. Louis, or depending on how the district split or go. Jeff City got a real good chance of making another run at it. Um, some other sleepers, well, not really sleepers, but again, these were teams that were in our conference or in our district last year. I think we're going to have to prepare for. And you have Vianney and you have Webster. Vianney, I mean, they're young, but they have a lot of young talent. You got juniors, you got sophomores that all are ranked in the top. As far as players in the state, with a Luke Walsh, with Eddie, and then a 6'3" Simon Guy. And this kid is just a shot blocking machine all over the place. So again, those guys are going to be tough to beat. But then you also have Webster, who have that pedigree of a championship pedigree. And then they return Isaiah Purvey, who I think recently committed to UMSL. And then guard Cole Whitehead Jr. And then pretty much the talk of the state, Scotty Shifty, Scotty Atkinson, a talented 6'3" guard who has a lot of D1 offers. And it's pretty much box office. So again, from Gardner Ritter to Vianney to Webster to St. Mary's, man, I mean, it's going to be jam packed. So again, if you're listening to this, we're starting practice, or we've already had practice by the time you've checked this out. I mean, I'm just real excited to get the season started. We're going to have footage pretty much of tryouts, of some behind the scenes stuff pretty much all year. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, you're tapped in, you're locked in to the different things that I have going on, because I want to be able to share this journey with you guys, because it will be exciting. I'm telling you, this is going to be an exciting year for us to for the Dragons and the Dragon family to be really behind us. And to get some of that back with the basketball team. So, man, thank you guys for checking this out, for listening to me. Make sure that you're grateful for every sunrise and thankful for every sunset. I really appreciate you guys for listening, and I will catch you on the next video.